All right, I think you guys are live.
Hey
Hey,
everyone, welcome to another virtual fundamentals class. We're going to cover some jiu-jitsu fundamentals. I'm going to try to speak up because it's raining, so you might hear a little noise coming from the roof. But today we're going to cover some more guard passing, in particular from butterfly guard today. And for all beginners, we'll go over what that is, some things to look out for, and ways to pass it either. So, if you watched last week when I went over our kneecap pass, you'll notice some similar principles or ideas with these butterfly passes, and that's a really big point for me is talking about sort of universal principles that you can recognize in a plethora of different positions and situations, so that you no longer have to just focus on memorizing a sequence of movements, but you can apply broader principles and almost discover things for yourselves in that way. So very quickly, I'm going to have my Uke, Marianne here, demonstrate once again what good seated posture is for the person on the bottom, and some things that we're going to do to disrupt it. So Marianne, if you actually face this direction, and go ahead and just sit. Okay, so you can see right now, her back is angled forward, her head is in front of her hips. This gives her a much stronger posture for me to have to deal with, to try to disrupt her, and in particular, try to knock her back a little bit. If she leans back and her weight starts to distribute this way, she's going to be much easier to tip over, and she's also going to be much easier to rotate around. You can see here, it's almost like I'm spinning her like she's on a top. As opposed to forward, I can't do that anymore. Okay, so what a butterfly guard looks like is I'm on my knees in front of her, and she's got her hooks in. She's got her feet hooked to the inside of my thighs. So if I try to pass, she can follow my leg and lift it up with her foot. If I'm standing and I start to lift my legs up and down, she can follow them like I'm a puppet on a string almost. So that's no good, because as we know, to pass the guard, it means to get around the legs and to get above her hip line, so that I've got forelimbs against her arms, and I've taken her legs out of the picture. Okay? Stay there. So again, when we talk about engaging with our opponent, we want to manage the distance, the space between us. I don't want to go forward and get within gripping distance until I actually know what I'm doing, so that I'm moving forward with intention, and I'm not just letting her establish grips. I talked last week a little bit about squatting down like in a wrestler stance, as opposed to just bending at the waist. If I do bend at the waist, like I'm here, as opposed to here, just be aware that she's going to try to get a lapel, she's going to try to get a sleeve. A lot of times, she might be looking to like arm drag, right, to get into my back, or she might be grabbing the lapel to start pulling me down, or even look for certain kinds of chokes. So I'm going to approach cautiously, bent at the knees. And what I really want to do is I want to get grips on her pants, or even her ankles or her shins. I need to get some control of her legs, so that when I come in, I can push them together. In jiu-jitsu, it's almost universal that we rarely want our legs to be pressed together, and we almost never want our legs to be crossed over each other. So from Marianne's perspective, she wants to have her legs nice and wide, which gives her more mobility and more options. For me, I want the opposite. So I'm coming in. Maybe I get a grip on her pants if we're in the gi. I'm going to bring her legs together, and I'm gonna get down on my knees in front of her. And I'm pinching my legs so that she can't flare her legs out as much as she wants. When you're in the butterfly position, a lot of times what your opponent is going to be looking for is an overhook or some kind of control on an arm to take away your post if they're going to try to sweep you. So for example, if we're here, Marion gets an overhook on my right arm, and maybe an underhook over here, and now she can start to look to tip me over, nice and slow, for a butterfly sweep. Stop here. And because she's got this overhook on my arm, I can't pull it out to post and stop the sweep. So we really want to make sure that they don't dominate one side of our body in order to sweep us, and we can't post to stop it. Okay? The other thing to keep in mind in this position is that in butterfly guard, you're very much trying to get underneath your opponent to sweep them or elevate them so you can start to maybe engage in like a leg lock game. So Marion's in her good posture, and you'll notice that her head is below mine. If she were to lean forward, her head is in my chest. It's very hard for me to push her back right now. Her hips are too far away, and her head is under my head, which is no good for me. Let's move this a little bit. So when I get to this position, and I'm pushing her legs together and I'm pinching my knees, the next thing I want to focus on is getting my head lower than hers. Ideally, I want it to be against her chest, under her chin. Very good. And when I put my head there too, I want to try to be looking up. It's going to force my head to arch, but it's also going to protect me from certain chokes, certain collar chokes, potential guillotine chokes. Protect your neck at all times in jiu-jitsu, right? So I'm here, I'm dropping down, I'm getting my head to her chest, I'm looking up, and I'm going to drive forward. Now she's prone, flat on her back, and this is a bad place for you to be if you're playing butterfly guard. You'll notice too that I kind of followed her as she fell back. I don't want to be all the way back here. She's still on her back, but I'm farther away now. This allows her legs to flare out. This allows her to start to shoulder walk back or create space. Last week I talked a lot about not letting your opponent elongate their body. So if you come back to me, scoot in and go ahead and lay it back down. So I'm nice and tight, and I'm putting her heels to her butt. And as I do so, I'm bringing my arms over her legs, and I'm pinching them at her hips, and I'm drawing her near me. I might even hold the belt or get like a body lock and connect my hands together. If I'm here and Marianne tries to get away, try to scoot back Marianne, she can't do it anymore. And that's because I've essentially trapped her legs and I've locked her hips into place. This is a very important detail, and as you get more experience grappling, you'll feel it. You'll understand almost intuitively why it's so important. Okay. So we've got them here. We're pinching at their hips. We're drawing them to us. Now we have to deal with her butterfly hooks. Her feet are still hooked to my thighs, making it so that she can follow me with her legs to kind of track my movement and keep me at bay. So this might be a little hard to see. I'm going to try to maneuver so you guys can see it a little bit better. But I like to pass going to my left. I'm right side dominant, so that's usually the norm. I'm going to have my head looking to my right side. The arm on this side, my right arm, is going to fish under her thigh, just right below her hip. And I'm going to be reaching for her foot or her ankle on this side of her body. And if you could just actually kind of lift this leg up so they can try to get a view. What I'm doing is I'm reaching over this leg, under, and I'm getting a grip on her foot or her ankle here to hold it in place and to keep her heel against her butt. It's hard to see with her leg down, but that's what I'm doing. Okay? So I'm here. My left hand might reach back a little bit to secure the foot as I reach this one out, or down rather, and get control of her foot. Now, important, I'm gonna kick my right leg back, all the way back, so that I'm free of the hook on this side. And I'm gonna bring my leg back in. Go ahead and lift your leg up again. And now my thigh is going to be pinning this foot to her butt. Just like I'm using my hand to do it, well, now I'm kicking my right leg back and bringing it in to reinforce my hand holding her leg, but also, as you'll see in a minute, to replace it. So now I'm here. Now I can take my right hand away, which was holding her foot, and I can either clamp back down on her hips if she's real squirmy and I need to just sort of ride this out, or I can advance to the next position, which will be to take this right arm and to bring it now, rather than over and under her thigh, I'm going to bring it to the inside, and I'm going to pin her foot into the pit of my elbow. Put your leg up, this one, like this, okay? So I'm pinning it here, and I'm reaching under her leg, and I'm grabbing her belt. If it's no-gi, I'm grabbing her hip. So now you'll see I've reinforced my leg with my arm, meaning I've got double control of her leg. I can remove one and safely still control that hook. So I'm here now. Now it's just a matter of kicking this right leg back and coming back to the outside now. Notice I've still got control of her leg with my arm here. It's pinned. From here, I can start to inch my way up her body and pull my right arm free because I've beaten her legs now. Sometimes you'll see beginners leave their arm here, which is a crucial mistake. I always tell people if they've got an arm between their legs, there's a triangle somewhere. So I'm here. If Marianne pushes my head down, she can start to look for a triangle. So as soon as I'm ready to free this leg, I've got to let go, bring it to this side, pinch the elbow at the hip, move up the body. Now I'm in side control. Okay. There's a lot of steps there, but it's actually not super complicated once you kind of understand what we're really looking to do here, which is essentially to constantly be pinning that leg on the side that we're passing and reinforcing it so there's two limbs holding it in place so we can take one away and just slowly and incrementally work our way all the way to the outside of her body to get to side control. So one more time. Marianne's just going to start laying down. I'm here. I'm pulling her to me. I'm pinning her heels to her butt. I'm keeping my chin tucked nice and tight so there's no hope for like a choke or anything for her. Right hand reaching over and under to grab her right foot. Now I kick my right leg back and I bring it back in so that, lift this leg up, my thigh is now pinning her foot. Here. Okay, now it's just we're doing the same thing, but the opposite. We're essentially now, we've got the leg pinning, and we're going to bring the arm in to double up and pin that leg. And now I can bring my leg out again, move to the outside, here. Now we've technically beaten her butterfly guard. We're on the outside. I'm above her hip line. My arm's going to come up. This arm's going to let go. Here, pinch her hip, move up her body, and now I've gotten to my side control. You want to give that a try, Marianne? Sure. Okay. I'm going to sit here facing that way. So we'll start from the very beginning. I'll walk her through it. So I'm seated, good position. Notice my knees are flared out. I'm not like this. Knees flared out. Marianne's going to come in. She's going to establish some grips on my legs, pinch my legs together, and drop down to her. Go back. Here, drop down to her knees. Here, good. Now, she's going to lower her head under my chin. She's going to be looking up as she does so, and she's going to drive forward to knock me back. And she noticed she sort of followed me as I fell backwards. Now my hips are pinned to my butt. She's going to bring her arms over the top of my legs, and she's going to pull me back down into her and inch her way up. Now, if you're in my position, you feel crowded. And I really want to start trying to create space, shoulder walk back, maybe look for a shrimp, but I can't because she's controlling my hips. Okay, now this arm reaches under, and she's going to reach all the way under and grab my right foot. I can already sense the beginning of the end here. She's going to kick her right leg back, bring it forward, and use her thigh to pin my foot. As she lets go, brings it to the inside of my leg, and she's going to hook the crook of her arm over the top of my foot, reach under, grab the skirt of my gi, or grab just my hip if it's no gi. Okay? Now she's going to kick that right foot back. Good. All the way, now she's going to go over in the side control, still holding my foot, you can see here. So I can't do anything with it. When she's ready, she's going to get this arm under my head, which will help her to walk up the length of my body. As she releases my foot and quickly clamps her elbow down on my hip, drawing me in, maybe getting an underhook, clasping her hands, and now we're in our standard cross-side side control. Okay. So that's our first pass. I've had a lot of success with this pass, and I've had people, team members, also tell me that they've had a lot of success with this pass, especially for people who haven't seen it before. So now we're going to go to our next one, which is similar. It's a little bit more, not dynamic, maybe athletic. I'm not really sure. But Marianne's going to be on her back again. And we're going to be in a similar position here. Now, rather than reaching over to grab the foot on this side of her body, I'm going to grab the foot on this side, so the one that's nearest the camera. Just going to reach over, grab her foot or her ankle here, and press that heel into her butt. Last time my head was on this side of her body. This time it's going to be on this side of her body. As I execute this move, keep in mind that I'm driving my shoulder into her sternum, and my left hand, which is on this side over here, is going to be posting on the mat to brace myself. If you're doing this with your partner, make sure that they're ready and they're flexing their stomach, especially if you're quite a bit bigger than they are. So I'm here. All I'm going to do is elevate onto my feet to start to lift my hips up. And then I'm going to kick my feet over and end up in side control again. Let's spin around to the other side. This might look more challenging than it really is. I found with when I teach this that it takes people, a couple days, maybe a few weeks to get the hang of it, and then it's super easy. It's not a very difficult pass, but it just takes some getting used to. So I'm here, head's on this side of the body. My right arm is grabbing her left ankle or her left foot. Posting my hand, driving my shoulder into her so she carries my weight. Posting my head to the mat. Gonna get onto the balls of my feet, elevate my hips up, and then just kick over. Right over the top of her legs. Now I end up in this position where my right arm is kind of like reaching across my body, still holding her foot. Don't want to leave it there. Just gonna plant my left elbow to her hip, pull her in, take my right arm out, get under her head, start walking up her body to get to cross sides. When you're here, guys, you always have your knee blocking their hip so they can't try to shrimp away and get their legs back into the equation. One drill I'll use to help people get the hang of this is like a drill from side control. I'll be over here. I'm just reaching over her body to get a grip on her pant leg or her ankle. I'm here, posting my hand, posting my head, driving my shoulder into her sternum. Just gonna hop over to one side, the other. And you'll see here, it's not an athletic move. I can hold this position upside down, and it shouldn't be that difficult. Your balance is very stable, and your partner loves it. Not uncomfortable at all. So we're gonna have Mary Ann do a couple reps of that. Let's go ahead. So the key thing to remember here, guys, is that when they've got those butterfly hooks in, you want to make sure they're not leaning forward. You want to start leaning them back, and you want to take away their ability to use their legs to press you away, or their ability to shoulder walk or hip walk back. We've got to crowd them, and we've got to lock their hips in place. So we're here. Marian's going to come over, keeping my legs pinned. Her arms come over the top of my thighs. She clamps her elbows, and she's pulling my hips towards her as she's driving her own hips forward, making it hard for me to get away. So this time, she's going to grab my ankle here. Now she's going to put her head on this side over here. She's going to post this hand. She's going to drive her shoulder into my sternum, get onto the balls of her feet to elevate her hips, and now she's going to hop over. Good. Let's do one more now to the other side. Go ahead. Now she's controlling my left leg, because that's the side she's going to pass. Nice. So those are two passes from Butterfly. There's lots of others. I don't actually know the names of these passes, but they work really well for me and people I've talked to. So play around with it. The most important thing to keep in mind, though, when somebody's got a butterfly guard in play, make sure that you can start tipping their posture backwards. Make sure that your head is lower than theirs, ideally under their chin to help drive them forward and push them back. And watch out for those overhooks. They're going to look to sweep you, and if not, they're going to look to sort of shrimp walk backwards, create space, and sort of reestablish the position so you're not crowding them so much. So that's all I've got for you guys today. Hope you enjoyed it.